Oh, I've always liked that. That's John Fogerty, helped ably by Don Henley and Timothy B. Schmidt. That's a song called The Garden Party, written by, of course, Ricky Nelson, the late Ricky Nelson, around about the 70s sometime. Wasn't that around about the 70s? Was that right?
Would it have been the 70s?
Oh, yes.
So,
certainly not 60s.
No,
Listen,
they've
been on Radio 1 again.
Oh, no.
Apparently I've been on doing my much-admired impersonation of the Holy Ghost. Apparently you were on as well.
Was I?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I like being on Radio 1 because it's bad for my image. Listen, look at this. Oh, sorry. Good morning, everyone. It's nice to be here. The number to ring if you want to contact this program. The reason why I said it's nice to be here, do you know why I said that?
No.
Because it's nice to be here. And I meant that, most sincerely. I was in England the weekend doing a little interview with well-known Northern Ireland actor James Ellis for a special programme. That's going to be on, I think, at 6 or 7 o'clock on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, so I'll not be getting picked up then?
You won't be getting picked up.
I was told I was going, you see, so I was ready.
No, we decided at the last moment we didn't need
yes,
you.
it would have been nice if you in the undertone had told me I wasn't going.
Well, you didn't know what golf course you were on, or else we would have combed the fairways. Mm-hmm. Couldn't find you at all. We tried City of Derry, and then we went to Faughan, but obviously you were not to be seen in any of them, so we gave up after that. We thought maybe you'd gone to Carnoustie. What do you call Shepherd's Glen? What do you call the one down there? Druid's Glen. Is that the one you go to? Anyway, that's the one John Bennett goes to, but he has far more money than you have. Jimmy Nellis didn't say hello.
He didn't?
No. I said, do you remember Sean? He said, who? I said, remember the fellow used to work on the programme with me? He said, who's that again? I said, no, it's okay. No, very nice man. And what a lovely time we spent with him.
Right, explain to people what this is all about then.
It's just about, we thought it was time that somebody went and talked to Jimmy Ellis about areas of his life that he hadn't really talked too much about before. About his early days and about all kinds of things. We talked for hours and hours and hours. It's going to be a very interesting programme, not because I'm involved in it, but because of him, because of who he is, and because of the importance that he has in the Northern Ireland acting profession. He's a giant, towers above everyone. And without him, there wouldn't be Jimmy Nesbitt's, and there may not have been Liam Neeson's, there may not have been all kinds of people without him. He was a guy who paved the way. But he doesn't talk too much about that. He talks about his early days, and about, what it was like doing things that he did. And he was a very, very nice man. He is a very, very nice man. I really enjoyed being with him.
When
can
people hear it?
I just said,
when?
On St. Patrick's Day. Is it 6 or 7? 6 or 7
St. Patrick's Day?
St. Patrick's Day. What? Let me say that again. St. Patrick's Day.
Sure, we know when that is.
I know, but why do you keep saying St. Patrick's Day?
I never asked you the time.
It's 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock.
I never got round to that question.
It's 6 o'clock.
I just asked you, what day is it on? St. Patrick's Day. And then I would say to you, and what time can we expect to hear that at?
Don't be so aggressive. Just because you didn't come with it. You're aggressive. You're snapping at me. And
well, how would you feel if you were sat in the house with a little overnight bag packed, waiting to go to England, waiting for two guys to arrive in a taxi and pick you up and take you to the airport, and they didn't appear? How would you feel?
I think
I'd feel a little aggrieved, a little angry? Not even a phone call?
I think I'd feel snubbed.
Yes.
Well, I left a note on your door.
So I believe.
I nailed it up. Yeah. Anyway, that's okay. Don't worry. We'll find somebody else to talk to next weekend. Look, there are people
Did you buy shoes at the weekend?
I did not. No. I have plenty of shoes at home. And I have enough shoes to do me. Why, has someone said something about me? Come on.
Come on. Here. It's just Michael Anderson, it must be you.
That's me.
I was up in Belfast at the weekend. I saw him get 2 pairs, P-E-A-R-S, 2 pairs of Clark shoes.
That's not me. That's obviously some imposter. Not that there's anything wrong with Clark's shoes, or indeed a pair of them. Nothing wrong with Clark's shoes at all. But it wasn't me. Obviously a case of mistaken identity. A lot of people mistake me for other people,
When do you start your training?
Soon.
No, when is soon?
I'm going to have professional advice, and there's no hurry, Sean. Don't push me. Because a man of my age cannot just rush into something like this. I'm taking professional advice. After all, you've only got one heart, and you know what they say? A good heart is hard to find. And I'm not going to destroy this one. I'm not going to fall down the street gasping like a goldfish. I'm going to be ready when I run my marathon. When I paint my masterpiece, when I run my big race, I want to make sure I don't die in the middle of it.
Because you have a very, very fat stomach.
I have not.
You have.
It's the vest.
No, it's not.
It's very thick material.
We're Jan.
Yes. Janet. Yeah, Emma's looking now. Yeah.
Me and Emmett, we're looking.
Go on.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, not a pulled it.
not been pulled in.
Janet, Emma says you have a spare tyre.
That's the way it is when it's out. There's nothing wrong with that spare tyre. That's a little spare you need. If I was crossing the Gobi Desert, or indeed some other expanse of parched land, this would be the thing that would keep me going. This will go. This will be the first thing to go. But you can't just kind of, what a bacon slicer? I'm going to talk to people, and then there's a few imperfections. There is a little belly there. Yeah. But that won't be there long. A gentleman writes to me and says, I don't want to come over all Sean Kyle, but the TV was awful at the weekend. He's getting in before you do. Well, it was until Liam Neeson went on a Parisian rampage, killing more men than Attila the Hun in the violently brilliant movie Taken. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, it's a great movie. It's got a great quote in it. Do you know what he does in the movie? No. And this is going to be one of the lines, and I've already heard it being quoted by a number of other people. There was a TV series which was very, very funny called The Trip with Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon. Did you see that?
No.
But that was the best thing ever on television. Very, very funny.
When was it on?
Recently, the two of them were travelling around just talking to one another. It was great, so funny. But one of the things he did talk about was this movie, and there's a line in it. What happens is that, I think, let me just remember what the plot was. Liam Neeson, I think his daughter.
His daughter's kidnapped.
Give me time to say it.
Oh,
his daughter is kidnapped, okay? Yeah. And he's a professional kind of, I suppose he'd be a kind of a retired sort of SAS man.
He's got very bad hair.
His parents may be listening.
I know, but that's why I whispered it.
It's still here.
Because his mother lives and his sisters live close to my family in Ballymena.
I know.
But that's why I'm whispering it.
Okay, will you be very careful about what you say about
bad.
people? Stop it, will you?
No.
Yours is nothing to write home about. You're the only person I know who has clenched hair. Anyway, his daughter is kidnapped, and he comes out of retirement.
Wouldn't you
basically,
love to have it, wouldn't you?
I don't want your hair.
You love to have my clenched hair.
I don't want your hair. I don't want your hair. I don't want your. I don't like it. I don't like it. I want the stuff. I'm going to get the hair I'm going to take off my bum. When you see my bum hair on the top of my head, boy, you'll oh,
don't you worry, I'll not be doing anything. Oh, no.
Anyway,
he
decides to go after these people himself, and he's an accomplished kind of assassin, basically. But these people don't know that. So he gets a phone number of a guy who thinks who's involved, right? And he phones this guy up, and he said, "I don't know who you are," he said, "but I will find you, and I will kill you." Isn't that a great line? Well, I will find you, and I will kill you.
I didn't think it was a great line, because they're using it all the time in the clips on the TV, advertising the phone. That's what they're using. It's all right. I don't know who you are. I'll find you. I'll kill you.
No, it's the way he says it. I will find you, and I will kill you. In other words. Anyway, no, I refer, of course, to the grotesque yet addictive programme. It's on ITV. It's called, you ever watch it? It's called Take Me Out. There was a man from Derry, Londonderry on the weekend.
Anybody in their right mind sit down to watch something like that?
Life imitates art. You see, you've no sense of fun. 30 single women, and I use the term loosely, get the chance to be taken out on a date by a man, and for the uninitiated, if they are not interested, they turn off their light. You know, there are two types of women in this world. The women who keep the light on, and the women who ask to turn it off. Which one do you like? Come on.
What?
Which one do you like? I'm saying there are two types of women in the world. Ones who say keep the light on, the other ones who say turn the light off. Which ones do you like? I'm just asking you.
I don't know. I need to phone home.
Well, do you not know if the light's on or off? Do you not? Anyway, for the first few weeks, the women were very picky. What about Emma?
No, I'm not asking Emma that.
For the first few weeks, the women were very picky. Wrong clothes, lights off. Too short, lights off. Hair transplant, are you listening? Lights on. Sort of standard procedure seen by women everywhere on Saturday nights in bars, that is between 10 and midnight. All men are underlings. Do you ever notice that? Because you don't go out at all. Between 10 and midnight, when women come into a bar, women are king and men are just little pieces of dirt just lying there, because they know that between the hours of 10 and midnight, the women can get anyone because they're not drunk yet. And the men aren't drunk yet, and they're afraid to talk to them. They know that men are putty in their hands. Underlings.
What are they doing coming into bars such late hours? 10 o'clock?
Deserving of nothing but contempt. But then, as the witching hour approacheth, fueled by Jager bombs and Bacardi breezers, the previously impossible to please women now transform into desperate harridans. Because you know what happens then? The men get drunk. And because they get drunk, there's a certain point in drunkenness where you don't care about women anymore. Do you know the stages? There's 3 stages, basically. One is you go to a club. You wouldn't know this because you're not normal.
Right.
You go to a club, you see, and you look at all these girls and say, boys, there's a queer looking better stuff there now. I wouldn't mind that now, but
where you're standing at the bar?
I'm standing at the bar. I've just walked in. Right. And I'm looking around all, the big long legs on them and their big high heels. And you're looking at them and they're going, look at the boy, they're a queer bunch of fellas there. Look, them collies over there is grand. Oh, ha, 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 ha. If I only had the courage to go over and talk to them. What happens is, so the men have to get a few pints and a few jars into the same. And then what happens is, a very kind of strange thing happens. They start to really get into the drink. Or else they might make a kind of an exploratory kind of pass over. When they feel as if they have enough drink, on the way to the toilet, they might stop and maybe speak to one of these girls. Girls, of course, will ignore them like dirt because they're not drunk enough yet.
And what would you say to them? How did United do today? Or
yeah, you say things like, wasn't West Bromwich Albion poor today?
Right,
that kind of thing.
Right.
That gets their attention right away. But then again, if they're snubbed, then they go back and then they take more drink. And then as the drink takes hold, they forget about the women completely and they just become big jellyfish. As the witching hour approach, fueled by Jaeger bombs, desperate harridans prepare to latch on to any human with a Y chromosome that they can ensnare. And as chucking out time draws near, their standards fall faster than drunks on Buckfast. Ditto, the yoke's on Take Me Out. As the series goes on, they're mired deeper in desperation. Now every clown gets a date such as their plight. I feel the women would probably leave their light on for Quasimodo, or even, at a push, Wayne Rooney. Listen,
but whitey girls, see that fella's going to the toilet and he says to the girl,
West Bromwich Albion were poor today.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And they go, listen to him. But they really want him to talk to them. And they pretend they don't want him to talk to them. So they try and say, listen to him, But they want the fella to talk. And they want the fella to come back and have another go, you see.
Yeah, but you see, the fellas don't know what to say.
No, but you see, I was always a one-liner.
Yeah?
Aye.
Give me one.
No, I don't mean a chat-up line. I mean, if I said something to a girl,
do you have 10p? Ring your mother. Tell her you're not coming home tonight.
Whatever it be. Whatever the girl replied, I took that as read.
As read?
I wasn't coming back for a second help.
Okay, I'm a girl standing on my high heels.
Hello. Right.
Okay, and you're walking past me.
I'm walking past you. What do they call you? I don't know your name.
Daphne.
Daphne?
Something like it, huh?
Oh, Daphne. Are you not speaking? What's wrong, Daphne? I'm in the toilet now. No, you forget it, Daphne. I've gone on in.
You forgot to put your trousers on?
No, I wouldn't entertain that, you see.
I know.
I'm away.
Listen, there's proof here that, there's a speculation here that I am less than genuine. A letter has floated in. No, really.
Surprise.
No, it's a surprise to me. It says here, Dear Mr. Anderson, on Friday morning I was somewhat reluctantly seated in the waiting room of my proctologist, nervously awaiting a probe. Anyway, Radio Ulster was playing in the waiting room, or waiting in the playing room. Radio Ulster was playing in the waiting room, and I was listening to you do your I'm an Ordinary Man, just like you, listener, spiel, as you wittered on about having to attend another awards ceremony in Dublin. And you said, RTE radio presenters take themselves very seriously, They sit at these dudes acting like Hollywood idols, which they do, Hollywood people who are on the radio in Dublin, they think they're like stars.
That's because they're well paid. They behave like it because they've got decent wages.
Like $500,000 a year, that kind of thing.
You know what I mean?
Well, why don't we get that kind of money then? We could be stars too. Hoping to get their picture in Hello magazine, but not me, you said. People mistake me for one of the waiters, said he, laughing, chuckling. Isn't that great, I thought to myself, the way Gerry hasn't let fame go to his head. I picked up a magazine seeking something to while the minutes away. It was a local effort, kind of a Hello magazine, which claims to be Northern Ireland's biggest selling social monthly. To my horror, who was pictured on the front page but none other than that great working class hero. And down with the kids radio broadcaster one, Gerald Michael Anderson. Inside was a 7-page article, complete with lots of lovely photographs of his lovely home. One photograph shows him seated in dead casual post reading The Observer.
Yeah.
The Observer. Where did he hide the copy of Sunday Sport? But my favourite is the one in front of the big marble fireplace. He's sporting a pair of tight moleskin drain pipes. I expect this sort of thing from Julian and from Pamela Ballantyne, but from a man Anderson, what'll be next? Pictures of a cheesy grinned Anderson advertising pile ointment on the back of the Sunday Life, a feeble-looking Anderson flogging stair lifts, and the Ulster Tatler, or perhaps a picture of a smiling Gerry holding aloft a tube of ointment that is used for nefarious purposes. I was truly shocked and flabbergasted. I mean, you know what I'm like.
Yes.
You know what, I would never do anything like that in a moment. But I mean, I don't know what kind of magazine was that at all. I can't understand why the people...
There's a wee call.
Is there? Hello, good morning. Emma.
There's a call.
Emma, it doesn't work.
Have you got it on one?
Emma, it doesn't work. Will you go over and do what you do?
I'm telling you. Look, there it is.
Hello?
What do you do wrong?
Emma, will you fix that for him?
It's fixed.
Hello?
You're not doing
Hello?
it right.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, thank you very much. Sorry, there was a little delay there because Mr. Coyle does not know how anything works, and the first call of the day never ever comes through until Emma puts her finger over where she knows where to go. Hello, good morning, how are you?
Fine, thank you. And yourself?
I'm okay, thanks. Sorry that you had to listen to that.
No. It's very entertaining.
Okay, what can we do for you today?
I was just phoning up to promote an event that we're having in the City Hall on the 26th of March. My name's Kerry Anthony and I'm the Chief Executive of a charity working with homeless people called DePaul Ireland.
Okay, Kerry, yes.
And we've got an event called The Voice of the City happening in City Hall on the 26th of March. It's being hosted by Sir Trevor MacDonald. And we've got a lineup of some fantastic local artists like Silhouette, Katie and the Carnivals, Ian Archer, and from slightly further afield, Declan O'Rourke as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it should be a great night. It's a little bit of a different type of charity fundraising event, slightly different than the classic charity ball. So we're hoping that people will come along and dress to impress and get down to City Hall on the Saturday night and have a really good night's fun.
Is that a kind of dinner thing?
There'll be some finger food, Gerry. I mean, I think for us, we know it's very tough for people at the moment with the recession. People can't afford to pay for the sort of more expensive charity events. So we've tried to keep the price more reasonable, and so there'll be finger food in the evening and a bar and stuff there for people to have a bit of crack as well. Okay,
well, so when is that again?
26th of March in City Hall. If people are interested, they can visit our website, which is www.depaulireland.org.
What is that again? The what?
DePaul Ireland.
How do you spell that, love? Just would you spell that for me?
Yeah, it's DEPAUL.
DePaul Ireland, as in Vincent de Paul.
Well, yes, people get us quite confused with the Society of Vincent de Paul. They were actually one of our founding partners.
Well, that's where I get my wardrobe.
You and me both.
No, they're a great organisation.
They're fantastic, and they actually helped to set up DePaul about 20 odd years ago in the UK to work with homeless people in London at the time, and again helped us to come to Ireland.
So what's that again? www.depaulireland.org. .org. Okay, I've got that. All right, anyone who's interested in that, 26th of March, City Hall, Sir Trevor MacDonald. Yeah. and a fine batch of artists. Do something worthwhile, finger food, and a little wine, and perhaps a little vodka. All right, then, have a good night and let us know. Maybe we'll give it another little plug close to the time.
Great, that'd be lovely.
All right, Kerry, thank you.
Thanks for the support, Gerry. Take care.
Bye. Bye. Isn't it great the way I can kind of get over that? The first call comes up and I know there's going to be nobody on the other end of the line, but I can handle that. I'm used to it. I wait for it. Another brilliant week of... I hope that people are listening to our podcasts. Our podcasts are quite popular. Did you know that?
Yes.
Maybe perhaps some people don't know about them. They're there. And we've also got a programme at 12 o'clock on a Sunday called The Best of...
Saturday, is it?
Saturday. Did I say Sunday?
Yes.
Made a mistake. Yeah. From Extra. It should be Anderson Coyle Extra, but they had no space. Another brilliant week of podcasts. From guaranteed goat inseminations to the hyperbolic acceleration of technology known to scientists as the singularity. You see, you thought nobody knew what I was talking about. Remember the last week I was talking about the singularity?
I didn't know what you were talking about.
You didn't know? No, but
Jan
you thought
I hadn't a clue what you're talking about.
I know, but you thought that nobody else knew just because you didn't know.
I did not.
Everybody knew. People out there knew. Good to see you covering all the bases. I'm pretty sure Chris Moyles didn't talk about the singularity, and he's paid like a Premiership footballer. I'm guessing you saw the trailer for his documentary, or indeed read The Singularity is Near, by the prophet nutcase Guy, predicting the imminent merger of technology with biological life. His name is Ray Kurzweil. futurologist, inventor of the synthesizer, and many other gadgets. The man claims that all technology will merge into biological life in the future. That's what the singularity is. While living in New York, I had a great pleasure of having a chat one evening after a very swanky party with him and William Shatner. This guy moves in the best of circles. Both of them really do not want to die. In fact, Ray wants to bring his father back from the dead. And they spent the entire 30 minutes conversation swallowing dozens of pills, whilst one talked to me, the other would be frantically throwing various multicoloured tablets into his mouth in preparation for the handover. A very strange evening. I never thought I'd be reminded of a dinner with William Shatner by a show in Radio Ulster. Keep up the educating of the masses, says Terence, who lives in New York. Do you know what that is? This guy Ray Kurzweil. Where's Kurzweil? Sorry, that's his name. He claims that... Do you know what aging is?
I take it it's getting old, is it?
Good. But it's more than that. The aging process occurs because our cells become damaged, right? And you can't replace them.
I want to go to Perth.
But you can fix them. You can fix your cells. That's all I'm saying.
There's a programme on Friday night on TV, Relocate. And it was
to Perth?
Showing you all the lovely houses.
I was in Perth. Perth is one of the most beautiful places I think I've ever been. But the nicest part about Perth is that there's a place outside it, which is called... I can't remember what it's called.
All right.
What's it called?
Junji or something?
No, it's not Junji. No, it's not Junji. No, it's not that. It's called... I'll remember.
So what about it? Well, tell me about it.
It's a seaside place, and
Yes.
That's where all the convicts used to be. And there's a big place there called the Establishment, a big, huge jail that the convicts built, and it's still there intact completely. I can't remember the name of it.
Great.
I can't remember the name of it. I hate that, but I can't remember.
That's great.
Perth.
Yeah, I want to go.
Well, go. Wish you would. That's Suzanne Vega. That's a song called Headshots from an album called Close Up Volume 1 Love Songs. It's an EP, I suppose you'd call it that, which is an extended play, which is a redundant term these days with the CD. I wouldn't call a CD an EP, would you?
No.
But then again, people do. Suzanne Vega calls her own CD an EP, so who am I to argue? And before that was a request for a song, many requests actually to hear that. Smoky Mountain Taxi. Don't be asking me how many.
No, because we didn't get any.
I know, but you don't get the smart people in there.
Oh.
Smart people are on the email.
Aha.
You get the hoi polloi.
Well, then Stanley's on one. Hey, Stanley wants to talk to you.
Smoky Mountain Taxi, that was called by Adam Carroll, and that's from an album called Live at Cheatham Street, Cheatham.
Cheatham Street.
Cheatham Street.
What do I
that's
know
what it's
about
called.
Cheatham Street?
I really don't know what you know about Cheatham
I know
Street.
something about Cheatham Street.
Do you
Cheatham Hill. Cheatham Hill's in Manchester. That's what it is.
Thank you for
Cheatham
that.
Hill in Manchester.
Speaking of Manchester, what's wrong with Alex Ferguson? Why wouldn't he talk to people yesterday? What's wrong?
Well, but they decided before the match, in fairness to them, they decided before the match...
Well, what happened during the match? What happened during the match?
Apart from the result, nothing.
What was the result?
Liverpool stuffed them.
Who's he playing? They played Liverpool? And what was the score?
A 3-1 to Liverpool.
Which, that's why he didn't talk to anybody.
No, I said beforehand. They said the day before the match that they wouldn't be speaking.
Did you see Vince Cable on BBC Breakfast today? I hope the economy is in better shape than his suit. There was a gaping hole in his trouser leg. Gone at the seams, it seems. That's a very, very bad thing. I see Ricky Gervais has copied your Wee Man cartoon show on E4.
Oh, no.
Yes, indeed. Cartoon, yeah. You see, we were pioneers. And Gerry, can you please play a Justin Black song for Deborah? Many requests for Justin Black, particularly Furniture Can Save Your Life, the faster version, which I couldn't find in time to play this morning, but I will indeed devote the rest of the day to finding it. Mm-hmm. Did you think of that?
Yeah.
You're right, Gerry. The Trip is a fantastic show. I loved it. Steve Coogan's impressions are fantastic. Remember impressions? Remember you used to do them? Remember?
Aye, yeah.
Those were great days.
That's when there was a fire burning in my stomach.
Your fire's gone out.
My fire went out.
You're ready for the knackers.
I am. I'm ready. I could go on Friday.
Do you remember the wee man I used to show you the way you used to walk in the old people's home?
Aye.
You're ready for that.
I'm ready to go. You're quite right.
You're ready for a colostomy bag.
I'm ready.
Why don't you do some impressions before you go?
No,
go
the fire is out.
Go on.
No, that ambition, that
Go on,
drive.
Gregory.
No, all that drive is gone.
But you see, you shouldn't be telling people that. They'll stop listening. People used to like your impressions. I
remember years and years and years ago.
Do you remember you used to do Daniel and everything?
Years ago, I said to this television producer.
Yes.
No names mentioned.
All right.
And I said, I have an idea. I said, I would like to do a program. Or what you should do, not so much me, but you should get people and take them on their favourite walks go for a walk somewhere and to go to the camera with them, to talk about their walk, to talk about where they are and what it means to them. And it could be a country, it could be anywhere at all.
How exciting that would be.
It's on BBC Two.
You
right?
see?
On now.
I bet your ideas were snubbed at the time.
Aye, it's on BBC Two now. I remember talking about that years ago. So that's when I knew they were dousing my fire.
You think they doused your fire?
Yes, my fire has been doused.
I thought you put it out yourself.
Height.
You mean it was put out by somebody else?
From a great height.
Well, you know, I would...
and then I come up with ideas and I say, what's the point?
So bitterness...
Yeah. No, it's not bitterness. I just say, what's the
bitterness
point?
Extinguished your fire. Your fire was extinguished by people who wouldn't listen to you.
They wouldn't listen.
See, so they...
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible to be doused.
It is. Did you see Gordon Lightfoot in concert on BBC 4 at the weekend? Glad to see someone on the BBC considers him worthwhile. That's a sarcastic remark because I apparently don't play anything by Gordon Lightfoot. Do you know why I don't play anything by Gordon Lightfoot?
I thought you liked him.
I do like Gordon Lightfoot, but he never made any good records.
Oh.
I never thought he came across on records. I used to play with Gordon Lightfoot. I used to back him. And what was the Edmund Fitzgerald? I remember playing that with him. But the records never seemed, they weren't right. They never captured his essence.
Know that?
Yeah. Do you know the way...
Why did you not write about that in the book?
Because there's another book coming, Sean.
Oh, is there?
It's in the next one.
Oh, good.
But I'm worried about you being doused.
Yeah. Oh, I was doused from a great height.
Supposing I got a firelighter and just kind of popped it in your mouth. Do you think that would work? Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Gerry.
Good morning, sir. I'm surprised to find you there. Not that I'm surprised to find you. I'm surprised that things were working. How are you?
Not bad, Gerry. Gerry, I'm a digger driver, you know.
Yes, good man.
I was up in court there. I was accused of taking a bank machine out of the wall. And I was up in front of the judge, you know, and the jury came out and says, Stanley, you're not guilty.
Yes.
And the judge says to me, Stanley, you're not guilty. You're free to go.
Yes.
And on my way walking out of the court, I says, Your Worship, does that mean I can still keep the money?
Yes.
And he says to me, what do you say there? I says, well, money having a bit of a laugh, Your Honour. He says, well, I wouldn't like to think you were still holding on to that money, you know.
Uh-huh.
Because I've awarded you not guilty, you know.
Uh-huh.
So I just walked on out, Gerry, you know.
Mm-hmm. Did I miss something there?
I think that was a joke.
You see, this is what's wrong with me.
I think that was a joke.
What's this man, Stanley? Stanley, let me explain. I apologise.
Stanley has many, many names, by the way, and many, many jobs.
Stanley, let
He's
me...
now a digger driver. Before that, he was a taxi driver.
Stanley, let me explain to Stanley. You see, Stanley...
Go ahead, Gerry.
I have to explain
and
something.
Stanley was also an American president. Do you remember?
I'm sure he remembers, yeah.
No, but do you remember the American president? Remember the president of the United States of America used to come on and talk to you?
Oh, is that him?
Do you see? So he was also the president of the United States of America. He was also a taxi driver. Now he's a digger driver.
Bit of a Walter Mitty.
You see? So,
Gerry.
Let me explain. No, Stanley, it's important that I explain this in case people think I'm being nasty. You see, there's something wrong with me. See, whenever someone tells me a joke, I never know when it's over. And I never know when to laugh. I can't deal with jokes. And I know there was a joke. Was there a joke in there somewhere? Was there a punchline there?
Ask Robert, was that a joke?
Robert?
Yeah, he's
He
Robert.
was Stanley a minute ago.
Yeah, but he's back now to
Robert. Well, can I ask you this? I'm not slagging you there. Was there a punchline in that joke there that I was supposed to laugh at? No, I'm not saying it wasn't funny.
Not guilty. You're free to go. And then on my way out of court, I says, does that mean keep the money?
See, that's the joke.
So it should have been a word.
No, I see it. That's why it's no point in telling me. That's why none of the cameramen on the BBC will talk to me. Because none of the cameramen always tell you jokes. You know, when they get a moment off. Yeah. Do you hear the one about your man?
Robert wants to talk to you.
What's he want to talk to me for? I'm talking. Can't you hear me talking? Sorry, go ahead, Robert. Jim.
Gerry, I bought a brand new Porsche last week.
A brand new what?
Porsche.
A Porsche, sorry.
Yeah, and I went into my local bar, you know.
It's another joke.
And I ordered my usual pint and gin and tonic.
Yeah.
And I put the gin and tonic in my head and took a wee sip out of the glass of herb, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I started crying for 2 minutes. And then I started laughing for 2 minutes.
Yes.
And all the locals in the bar and the barman got round me and says, you know, you come in, you ordered your usual pint and your gin and tonic and you put that to your head and you took your usual sip out of the pint.
Yeah.
I've never seen you crying before and laughing.
Uh-huh.
I says, well, I bought a brand new Porsche and the mother-in-law just drove it off a cliff.
Yeah.
Did you catch that, Gerry?
You see?
No.
You didn't catch that? Well, I was crying because I bought a new Porsche, Gerry, and I was laughing because the mother-in-law drove it off a cliff.
Right.
You see?
Yeah.
It's no good to me.
No.
It's no good to you, Gerry.
I can't laugh at anything. I don't.
Well, Gerry, you want to keep walking down Royal Avenue?
Could you try another one?
Try another one. Do you know what it's like? This is like Some Like It Hot. Do you remember Marilyn Monroe? Do you remember Tony Curtis was playing the part of this man? He said he was frigid and no woman could excite him, and she kept kissing him. That's like me now, isn't it? You know, I'm not saying Stanley or Jim or Robert that you should kiss me, but what I'm saying is you keep telling me jokes to make sure that I'm like a normal person. And it doesn't matter. I can't. Jokes are no good to me. I can't laugh at them.
Your favourite joke, Robert? What is it? Tell us it.
That was my favourite joke.
Oh, gee. Oh,
That's me hammered then.
Oh,
Anyway, Jim.
Go on, that was my favourite joke.
Okay, well, good man. You've tried well. Maybe perhaps you can try again at some other later date. And,
Well, Gerry, maybe sometime we'll bump into you walking down Royal Avenue because you're one cool customer.
Thank you. You've seen me walking
well,
down. I didn't like you mentioned that before, but I didn't like to mention that. You've
I
seen
know,
me.
but you walked down there, you were like Cool Hand Luke.
Was this recently? Recently? Was this
I seen
recently?
you there a lot of weekends ago, Gerry. You were walking down there and heard me, here comes Cool Hand Luke.
As long as it's not the guy out of the hole in the wall
I
guy.
think this should be called, Royal Avenue should be called Lord Gerald Anderson Avenue.
Did you think I had a certain distinguished way about me? Did you think I was regal? Did you think that I looked...
You were moving them shoulders about and you were walking about, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, you were really cool individual, you know, and you had that wee jacket on. Oh,
When I was standing, I have to tell you this,
You
Mr.
were
Anderson.
cool.
When I was standing beside you this morning in the office, you looked ever so small. You did.
well, now, he was wearing them big swaggy boots, you know.
All right.
He was walking like Geordie.
Walking like an Egyptian. Okay, listen, thank you very much, Stanley,
Good
Jim,
morning to you,
Robert.
Gerry.
Good
Good
morning
luck.
to you.
Keep
Good
her
morning.
lit.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. What am I going to do about this inability to laugh at jokes?
No, I think I'm the same too as well. There's a lot
See,
of
it's so
people like
embarrassing.
us.
It's
There's a lot of
embarrassing for
people
me.
like us.
See, the cameramen on the BBC have stopped talking to me entirely because what happens is whenever the boys are standing around, you don't get a moment or 20 minutes. They all tell each other jokes because they're with each other all day, you know, and they run out of conversation years ago. So all they do is tell each other jokes, and they always come over about, you know, one about that, and they always tell it. And they
But
start-
I'm like you know. I don't.
no, they
tend to
stop
laugh.
and look at me,
No,
and they go.
you don't laugh.
And-
If
and
it's not funny, you don't laugh, and you don't pretend to laugh. And then they say to you, "Have you no sense of humour?"
I know.
Yeah,
But
what's the matter with you?
in your case, it's true. But it's only it's about jokes. It's about the way they tell them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Great shows last week, kid. Great shows which acted as a lubricant to our MLAs as they strained, grunted, and groaned with bulging eyes and red faces to pass a budget at Stormont. "Peter, get off the pot," yelled Tommy, my cat, who has no time for tardiness or procrastination. That's when I realised it was all over. Well, I remember seeing an interview with James Blunt. You know James Blunt, the pop singer? He's been very quiet recently. And he's been interviewed in one of those kind of MTV things. And do you know the way some little dolly bird, nice wee girl, sits and looks at him and says, "Well, James, you know, tell me this." I asked him what his favourite movies were. You know, and this is a kind of a rock and roll star. And said what his favourite movies are. You know, what does he like? And she said, "What do you dislike most of all?" Do you know what he said? He said, "I can't tolerate tardiness." And I went, "Can you imagine Keith Richards saying that?"
Yeah.
"Tommy," I chided, "don't be so crude. A budget is a big thing to pass. Our estimated MLAs seem to be suffering from Elvis syndrome, but I'm sure that Sammy Wilson will huff and puff until Stormont gives birth to a budget." "I blame the floaters," yelled Tommy. "The SDLP and the UUP. Cheeky chappy Michael McGimpsey said a budget would only be passed over his dead body. Then why the hold-up?" "Well, he's not dead yet. He just looks as if he is." "Silly, stupid semantics," I yelled. "Mark my words. Semantics brings naught but trouble and strife." "Knock, knock," said Tommy. "Who's there?" "Gestapo," yelled Tommy. "The Gestapo who?" I asked. "We ask the questions here," cried Tommy, and he lifted his fist. Oh, how he laughed. I met Stephen Nolan coming out of the chemist with an alarm clock. Seeing no bottle of Lucozade in his hand, I thought he had at last summoned up the courage to buy them himself, but it was not so. He glared at me like a bison on Bisto and yelled, "I've got a selection of photographs taken in the chemist for my Facebook page. Tell me what you think. How do I look in profile?" "Like Arthur Hitchcock," I replied. "Face on," said Tubby. "Christopher Biggins, then." "Listen, Tubby, your Facebook photograph is very important. It says who you are. You're a sperm whale. Take a tip from the great Hollywood stars. You could pose in jeans and T-shirt with a rifle behind your head like James Dean. You could stand over an air vent and let your frock billow up. Or you could copy Marlon Brando and pose looking tough with both legs astride a Harley Davidson. I went home with despair in my heart, and Nolan went home with my shoe in his rear. Like the owner of the Flamingo Dance Hall used to say, "How they get out? How they get out?" Dear Sean and Emma, would you please throw that CD out of the window? Which CD would that refer to, do you think?
That was the one immediately after the news. Check the time of the sending.
11:06.
Yeah.
Which one is that now?
That was the one...
Smoky Mountain Taxi?
Yeah.
You see, that's the type of people who don't like that kind of thing. They're Hugo people. I heard Foy Vance playing the Black Box on St. Patrick's Day. Do you know where I can get tickets? Well, I saw that picture in the magazine. I agree you weren't airbrushed. They would have had to use a roller.
It's cruel, isn't it?
It is cruel.
Yeah,
But
it's
see,
cruel,
such as well, I've got a sense of humour. Although, judging by what I said earlier, I don't have. It's only because I don't like jokes, but I can understand, humour as such. There's something I need to tell you, but it's really hard to say. Ken Dogg's dad's dog's dead.
It's quite easy to say, isn't it?
Ken Dogg's dad's dog's dead.
Ken Dodd's dad's dog's dead.
Ken Dodd's dad's dog's dead.
It's not a bit hard to say.
I know. That's because we've been
The last time I laughed out loud was last week.
1968.
No, Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Mrs. Brown's Boys is...
I laughed out loud.
Mrs. Brown's Boys is he needs a script writer.
But it's not bad for what he's doing.
Yeah, but it's too long. It's 15 minutes long. He said there's 15 minutes. He needs somebody else to write the other 15 minutes. There's too many longueurs between the good bits. So he needs a showrunner. He needs some guy to say, you need a line here, you need a line here.
You sound as though you're touting for a job.
And I smell money.
Yeah.
1.5 years old. 1.5 years old? 15 months, Lower Ballinderry area. A large reward offered. Be still my beating heart. Oh, here's a joke, look. I always know when my mother-in-law's on her way round, the mice in my house throw themselves on the mouse traps. See, that's what happens when you start telling about jokes. People
That's when you
talk
say,
about jokes.
shut up.
I know.
Don't you?
That's Dawson was the last person I had shared telling that. Yeah. Gerry, my wife and I were in Dublin last week, and Patrick Collins, the man who sang Penny Lane, was playing fiddle and singing in an Italian restaurant. So he's reached the heights then. He was brilliant, very distinctive voice. Which Italian restaurant was that? I must try and track him down. A gentleman writes to me and he said the 5th of March was the 40th anniversary of Led Zeppelin playing at the Ulster Hall. What a night that was. The first time all the stuff off Led Zeppelin 4 was played, including Stairway to Heaven. Did you know that?
No.
First time Stairway to Heaven was ever played was in the Ulster Hall. 40 years ago in September and March the 5th. Rock and roll and Black Dog. How's your fitness regime progressing? I have found donkey chasing to be an excellent form of exercise. We spent the last 10 days house-sitting in France. Lots of animals to look after, especially 2 very grumpy donkeys. They escaped. I spent 4 hours chasing them through the woods and hills of France. It's the toughest workout I've had for years. Maybe you should appoint Geordie as your personal trainer. I'm sure he could provide some suitably unsociable donkeys. He's in Catalonia. People listening from far off shores. A man has sent me a photograph of Jesus Christ in his toast.
Oh. I would like to see that.
As you've been out doing the work of the Lord, it's fitting you have been immortalised in toast. This photograph was taken in my kitchen, and I await the hordes of holy sightseers. He sends me a photograph of them. I believe.
Is it good?
I believe, yeah.
Keep that.
It's a pity you had to put butter on it. I'm still hanging on to a pathetic hope that you might be able to help me. Maybe it's really going to be like that programme on the BBC about the universe last night, and we're all just destined to fade away into nothingness. See, this is what is predicted. That we will. Did you see that programme on last night? I haven't seen it, but I've recorded it. It's by Professor Brian Cox. I like him because he's got this kind of mad grin all the time.
Tell me about it. Tell me.
It's about the story of the universe. And he said last night, which I didn't see him or hear him saying this, but this is well known to scientists like myself, that we will all eventually fade into nothingness. And, it's all right as long as you've got your insurance policy paid up.
I was thinking about dying this morning.
Why didn't you? Then you wouldn't have had to come in. I could have done the programme on my own. It'd been all right for a day or two. Got somebody else then.
I was wondering,
you thinking about dying this morning?
I was thinking about
dying, this morning.
Aye.
Uh-huh.
And
what are your feelings about that?
This last couple of months, I've been thinking about death.
Yes, okay. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't know what's
How cheerful is that?
It's just
Well, you
this-
see, you feel mortality weighing upon your shoulders, the mortal coil, all about to be shrugged off. You don't have many years left, you know.
No, do you know what I was thinking?
You have more behind you than you have in front of you.
Oh, I know that. But I'm thinking,
You're in the twilight of your years. It's, if your life was a year, this is November. Or what does he think?
no, I was thinking,
October?
yesterday I had a
I'm in
yesterday I had a
30th.
nice day. I had a nice day yesterday.
And you said I could end this now.
no,
be
and
happy.
I said to myself, reflecting this morning and looking back, I said, I don't want this to end.
That day yesterday?
I was thinking about yesterday.
Oh, you went to a furniture shop, didn't you?
And I went to a furniture shop. I went to a furniture shop, and then I went.
Yesterday I had the greatest day in my life. I will never forget it as long as I live. I went to a furniture shop.
And then I went to
What did you do this day?
what do you call it? Place where you put yachts. What do you call it? A marina. A half-finished marina.
You went to a furniture shop and you went to a half-finished marina.
You know, down at Fawn.
God, you Donegal.
Yes.
You got off at Fawn.
And I looked at all the yachts. Look at that half-finished marina. But I looked around at the hills and the lake, and I thought, this is beautiful.
And it made you feel
This is
good?
beautiful. I said, this is really good.
Well, this, of course, is where I'm from. This is where I was hatched.
Yeah. And there's this lovely house sitting on the shore, and I wanted the house. I
my
coveted that house. I wanted it. I wanted to go up and knock at the door and ask the guy to leave.
Evict them, yeah.
Yeah.
You should pretend you're an absentee landlord. And you should have brought up one of those big poles, and batter in their door and tell them they hadn't paid their rent and that kind of thing. So that was the happiest day of your life.
Yesterday was a happy day.
Okay,
Yeah.
half-finished marina and a furniture shop.
Yeah.
Well, who knows what'll happen.
And a
if
half
you do
decent game of golf.
Well, I thought that was going to creep in at
Yeah.
some stage. Exactly. Life is strange compared to what? That's a paraprosdokian. Do you know what a paraprosdokian
No,
is?
pray tell.
Well, we were talking about language there earlier on, so a lady called Maureen writes and she said, do you know what a paraprosdokian? Well, I just happened to know what that was, but she gives me a definition anyway. It's a figure of speech in which the latter part of a sentence or phrase is surprising or unexpected. It's what the basis of a joke is.
Ah.
You say one thing and then you say something at the other end of the sentence which is surprising and you laugh. Well, it's usually humorous because it's unexpected. What you laugh at is the unexpected. For instance, you might say the early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you'd say, do not argue with an idiot. He will drag you down to his level and beat you with experience.
All right.
Right? Yeah. Or the last thing I want to do is hurt you, but it's still on my list. You see, you're laughing now.
I like that one.
Making you laughing. If I agreed with you, we'd both be wrong. That's a paraprosdokian.
Yeah, I like that.
We never really grow up. We only learn how to act in public. All the world's a stage and we are but players on it. Paraphrasing Shakespeare. War does not determine who is right, only who is left. Get that?
Yeah.
That's a double whammy there.
Yeah. What did that say? Do I have something to tell you? What? No, but what have we got to tell Mr. Anderson about the Observer? Is it the Observer? Oh, what? Oh, the Sunday Culture magazine and the Times.
Yes.
We're writing about Mrs. Brown.
Yeah.
Saying that Mrs. Brown is the biggest reaction from of an Irish export since Gerry Anderson.
Oh, they hate me. They hate him that much.
Well, we don't know. You see, we don't know.
well,
What way is that? What way do we take that?
Well, what is that quote again? That was in the Sunday. What is it again? Why can Emma not talk like a normal person?
Well, if Emma come over to a microphone,
Emma, come over to a microphone and read
yes,
that
just
out.
tell him now, Emma. Please, Emma. Oh, please, Emma.
When you here's an idea. I know this is revolutionary. Why don't you write it down, and then Sean will read it.
Well, Emma can write it down and bring it in to you.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Do you like Emma?
I like it when Emma comes in. Sometimes she doesn't get out. Yeah, please do. So the implication, I know it's difficult for me to try and get you to tell me something sensible. The implication says what they're saying is the most shocking thing that English people have ever seen out of here.
The biggest reaction of an Irish...
What does it say?
The biggest reaction of an Irish export since Gerry Anderson.
Well, that means it's bad then. That means it's not a good reaction because I didn't have a good reaction. Well, do you think I did well? They're comparing me to that because they say...
some people liked you.
That's okay. It's all in the past, but I'm just a little worried about being associated with Mrs. Brown.
Yeah. Well, what about the calls you have pending?
I feel like don't feel like talking to anybody now.
We're going to try and get the...
You just read that out to hurt me.
I didn't. I thought that was complimentary.
Janet wanted... Well, it is in a way, actually.
Yes.
Because I'm quite proud of that.
Yes, I think it's complimentary.
I'm proud of the fact that the English people don't like me, because it means I must be doing something right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Gerry. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, thanks.
Gerry, I tell you, I'm looking for an incubator for the hens. Put the eggs into the incubator to put the hens in.
I always take life with a grain of salt, plus a slice of lemon and a shot of tequila. Sorry, what did you say? You're looking for an incubator for what?
Hens.
Hens?
To
Okay.
put the eggs into.
Are you talking about little chicks?
Yep, to breed them, yes.
Do you put the eggs in an incubator? Would you put eggs in an incubator?
Lift them up as far as I know and put them in it, yeah.
Would you put an egg in an incubator and the chick would come out of the egg itself?
As far as I know, yeah.
Really? I would love to see that.
I'm looking for that, Gerry, and tell us, Gerry, I'm looking for a small African grey parrot cage. For a small living room.
An incubator for hens and a small African grey parrot cage.
Yes,
well, there's a job for you two in there.
But it's for a small living room.
Yes, please, Sean, Sean, yes.
It's for a small living room, Gerry.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. Okay, that's nearly all we have to say. Where do you live, roughly? Bangor. Anyone who's got an incubator for hens...
Yep.
Or a small African grey parrot cage.
I don't mind travelling, but I don't mind travelling, but like, if it comes with even Belfast or Lisbon or something, you know what I mean?
Okay. Have egg will travel. All right, then we'll try and get you that. Anyone who can help you at all, and you're prepared to cross this man's or this person's hand with silver if you get the thing that you want. Okay, then.
Yep. And the cage, Gerry. Thank you, Gerry.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Gerry.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay,
Bye. I switched off there.
I know you did.
See, whenever I hear the word African grey parrot, I always switch off.
There's a man on too.
I know. Hello, why do I switch off when I hear parrots? Because I know what's coming next. It doesn't like chicken. Remember that woman?
Yes.
Remember that woman? Well, the woman lost an African grey parrot. I hope you're not listening. We're not making fun of you, but it was wonderful. And she said, I love this parrot of mine, and it's away now. It's away 2 days, and it's a lovely wee pet, and the Wains love it, and it's so friendly and so good. I would just say one thing. If people find it doesn't like chicken. You'd nearly work that one out yourself, wouldn't you? Don't be giving it a leg of chicken.
John's on too.
What?
John.
You hate me having fun.
I do not.
When I enjoy myself, you always stop me. You always do it. Whenever I'm laughing, you always make me shut up. Hello, good morning. It's little enough pleasure I have.
I'm looking at your gut.
Stop looking at my gut.
No, I
the
won't.
T-shirt's thick.
No, it's not.
I had a big feed last night. That's what it is. I haven't run it off yet.
Emma had a quick juke when she was in with you there.
I'm sure she did. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Gerry.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
I've about the call you had earlier on. I found a couple of brown Labradors last night.
You found a couple of what? Brown Labradors? Oh, right, Labradors. Sorry, I was away on a different level there entirely. Right, well, where did you find them?
Just they're down there and about my estate.
Your estate? What are you, some lord, somebody? Or... Hold on a second, I'm just looking for this. It's a little... Hold on a second, I'm just looking for the... Oh, here we go.
Lower Ballinderry.
Lower Ballinderry, lost since Sunday morning. 2 chocolate Labrador female dogs. 1 5 years old. That's it. 1 is 5 years old. The other is 5 months. Does that...
That tally's all right, yeah.
Oh, you've got them then. Do you hear what it says here? Large reward.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Your ship has come in. All right, I have a number here. Sean, will you give that... Emma? Hello?
Yes.
There's that number, look.
I
What's wrong with you? What are you laughing at? What are you doing? What's Janet? What's Emma doing?
nothing. Emma's talking to me.
She's up behind you. What was she doing up with you there?
Mind your own business.
She was up behind you. What was she doing?
She gave me something.
Did she? Well, why do I not get it?
I'm bringing it into you now.
No, I want her to bring it in, whatever it is she has that I want. Here, there's that number. Will you give this man this number?
Who?
That man that's on the phone now. He's found those chocolate Labrador
Does it
dogs.
end in 708?
Yes.
Yeah, I have it here.
Okay. That gentleman, sorry, that slipped out. He will give you the number.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Good. Those people will be delighted to hear that. Thank you very much.
Emma's bringing it into you now.
Where is she?
There's
There
Emma
she
now.
is. What is that? Oh, that's that thing about Mrs. Brown.
Yes.
Not since Radio 4.
Right. Now, wait a
Can
minute.
you hear me talking?
Wait a minute.
I'll hang up on this man.
Who?
You hang on the phone there, look, and give him that number. All right?
Can you take that?
I'm taking it. It says here, not since Radio 4 hired Gerry Anderson has there been such a strong reaction to any export crossing the Irish Sea. Brendan O'Carroll plays the innuendo-prone matriarch, and to some a pint of curdled Guinness would be more welcome. Yet it is not all bad. In fact, there is a side-splittingly funny bikini wax scene. I recognise that tone. Jokes! A man goes into the doctor. Doctor says, go over to the window and stick your tongue out. Why? The doctor says, I don't like my neighbours. You're supposed to laugh at that. I was having dinner with Garry Kasparov and there was a check tablecloth. It took him 2 hours to pass me the salt. Why do prawns not give to charity? Because they're shellfish. You see? These are jokes. You see, once you start telling jokes, you're in big trouble. And another gentleman... we played earlier on a track from Patrick Collins, who played Penny Lane. And Jonathan says, I hate Penny Lane. I hated it when the Beatles did it, and I hate his version even more, which is a very, very sad thing to say because the Penny Lane was one of the best things the Beatles ever did.
I love Penny Lane.
Absolutely. Innovative, different.
Great.
And a milestone in pop music. It just goes to show you some people are stupid.
Do you like Paul McCartney?
Do I like him? I like him, yes, but I know he's a very awkward person in public. He's a ham. The worst thing, a perfect example of he doesn't know how to behave himself in public. I think it's because he's basically shy. Yeah. Now, do you remember when John Lennon died? Yeah. The first people who got to Paul McCartney went to work that morning. And the reason why he went to work, apparently, if you read, particularly Keith Richards' book is very good on that, how they all reacted, privately behind the scenes when John Lennon was shot. They all went to work because they couldn't sit at home, because they'd be badgered. So they went to work. So Paul McCartney went to record something with George Martin, whom he was working at the time, and he got into the studio before the people got him. But the reporters were all waiting for him outside, and he got out into the car, and people said, what do you think of John Lennon died? And he said, what a drag. That was the wrong thing to say. Made him look unsympathetic. He doesn't know what, he always sticks a thumb up. He's a ham, basically. Yeah. So but I do like him because I admire people who can't handle themselves in public. I'm a little
like
like
yourself.
That,
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Yes, a wee bit like yourself. You say the wrong thing at the wrong time. You don't mean it. That's right.
No, I don't mean it.